Hi, I'm Robin, and this is my son Mark, and today we're going to make Tex-Mex vegan chili. But before we get started, I want to say a word to all of you moms out there. If you still have little kids at home, get them involved in what you're doing. If you're cooking dinner, let them help you. When he was younger, he would come to me and say, Mom, can I help you in the kitchen? Can I cook something? I just want to help you. And I was always in a hurry, and I would tell him, Mark, you can help me next time. Right now, we just need to I need to hurry so we can get to the ball game, or we need to do this, or we need to do that. So I just want to remind you to be present with your kids. Make everything that you do important. Slow down, enjoy it, because this is it right now. This is what we're doing. We are making vegan chili today, not because everyone should be vegan. He's not a vegan. He has a little bit of protein now and then, but you can get all that you need from eating, all the protein that you need from eating vegetables. I do make my children meat when they want it, sometimes, right? Occasionally. But for their health, I do encourage them to eat less meat, and if they're going to eat meat, to make sure that it's clean meat, that it comes from a farm and it's not shot full of antibiotics and stuff like that. So Americans do eat way too much protein. You only need to make it 10 to 35% of your daily calorie intake. Men need about 46, no, actually women need about 46 grams of protein a day, and men need about 52. Unless you're an athlete like he is, then he's going to need more. But the average person doesn't really need that much. A 3-ounce piece of meat has about 21 to 22 grams of protein. A cup of dry beans has about 16. You can get all that you need if you want to be a vegan, but if you're going to be a vegan or a vegetarian, especially if you're a young girl, a lot of young girls say, I don't want to eat meat, I'm just going to be a vegetarian, but then they just eat carbs and sugar. And your body needs protein, and so if you don't know what you're doing, I would encourage you not to be a vegetarian and not to be a vegan, because you need proteins for your neurotransmitter function. It can affect you mentally, and it can affect your body. So make sure that if you're going to do this, make sure that you know what you're doing. Now I'm going to go over the ingredients with you, but before I do, I just want to encourage you, if possible, buy organic. So we're going to start with some tomato sauce. I love this jarred tomato sauce. I like jarred foods better than I do canned foods, but sometimes I use them for convenience. I just try to not use them as that often. So we're going to have some jarred tomato sauce. If you'd like, you can make your own tomato sauce. And then we're going to add some chopped tomatoes. Then we're going to have some black beans. We're going to have chopped yams and some diced Anaheim pepper. The spices for the chili be some chili powder, some pink Himalayan sea salt, some cayenne, and this is a spice that I made. I dehydrated some jalapenos. I dehydrate them for about 48 hours, sometimes longer, and I usually do it in my garage because otherwise you won't be able to breathe if you have it in the house. And so you add some of that as well. For the topping, we're going to have some fresh chopped avocados, some squeezed lime. You can cut up some more Anaheim peppers if you want, if you like them a lot. I'm going to have some diced onions and some sliced jalapenos and some cilantro. Then we are going to take some, don't want to do that and that, any type of corn tortilla. Once again, I want you to try to do organic if you can. You slice them up, you fry them in a little bit of maybe organic canola oil, and you sprinkle them on top. Sometimes I like to make some pico. If I make pico, I need some more onions, some garlic, some yellow bell pepper, some more jalapenos, and some more salt and lime juice as well. So if you want to put more on top of yours, you can do that too. The first thing that you want to do is you want to soak your beans the night before if possible. If you're not used to soaking your beans and you have a lot of flatulence, this will help you. When I soak my beans, I will soak them for probably 8 hours, and if possible, I rinse them 1 or 2 times in between that. So if you don't have that much time, once again, you can go back to canned beans if you have to. These are organic canned beans. Or, and this is the healthier choice right here if you can't make your own beans, these are dried refried beans and they're great. Okay, so after we do the beans, then we're going to add some yams. We have a yam right here. Are you going to cut that for me?
Do my best.
See, I should have had him helping me when he was younger because he had a lot of. What'd you have back then? He was very excited about it. Now I have to make him help me. So we're going to chop these up, and then we're going to put them in the pan here, and then we're going to boil the potatoes just until they're slightly soft. We don't want to boil them as much as you would mashed potatoes because we're not going to mash them, and we don't want them to be mashed up inside the chili. We chop them up into bite-sized pieces. If you have young children, make sure that they're small enough that they won't choke on them. But we cut them into bite-sized pieces, add them to the water. You're going to be using 5 cups of yams, 5 cups of chopped yams in the chili. So he's going to go over and he's going to boil these, and then we have some already ready. Once you boil the potatoes, you're going to drain them, and then you're going to put them on a cookie sheet. You're going to sprinkle some olive oil over the top and a little bit of coarse salt, and you're going to kind of roll the potatoes and you're going to put them in the oven for about 10 minutes so that they're a little bit crispy, so that when you add them to the chili they kind of maintain their form a little bit. So we've already cooked these for you. Once you do that, you're going to add it to your tomato base, and then you're going to cut up an Anaheim pepper. You kind of dice it real small. Throw that in. You don't have to saute it or anything ahead of time. You just throw it into the chili. So far we have a jar of this, a can of this. We have 1.5 to 2 cups of beans, depending on how many you like, 4 cups of chopped tomatoes, and we're going to cook that, add our spices, and then start preparing our topping. For the topping, you're going to want to chop up an avocado. I do this kind of different than most people. I like to peel them. A lot of people will just cut them in half, but I peel them. And like I said, you can chop up some fresh Anaheim pepper, but I always chop up some fresh jalapenos. And I've already done that for you. And you have to keep them covered up until dinner though. And when you're chopping these, I don't know if you've chopped jalapenos before, try not to touch the seeds and then touch your face. Make sure that you either wear gloves or you just hold it by the outside, but don't touch those seeds. Then you always want to chop up some fresh onion. You want to chop it up? He's good at onions. Okay, Mark's going to cut the onion for us, and I'm going to go over the tortillas. You want to show them how to cut an onion?
Why don't you tell me how I'm going to cut it?
To dice an onion, you're going to want to cut it which way? Help us.
I'm going to cut it down across this way, the lines, and then turn it and cut it the other way. And then you're going to flip it on the side and cut it down the side.
Okay, so while he does that, I'm going to show you what you do with the tortillas. You take the tortillas, and you have my knife, so I'm going to have to get this other one. You take the tortillas and you just slice them. Little skinny strips. You cut them up about this size right here. And then we're going to take them over and heat up a pan, put some oil in it, and we're going to fry these. These are great on top of the chili. So we're going to have onions, we're going to have avocado, we're going to have the sliced corn tortillas. Going to top it with some cilantro, and then you're going to quarter a lime and put that in a bowl. So if anyone wants some lime juice, that really adds to the flavor. So see, he just diced the onion. Thank you. Did a great job. Now that we have everything prepped, we're going to make our chili. We're going to start by adding our strained tomatoes. And then we're going to Add our can of chopped tomatoes. Then Mark, would you like to add the yams? Add our yams. When you put those in there, you don't want to stir it too much because you don't want to mash them up. Then we're going to add 2 cups of our beans that have been cooked. Just dip it in there. I mean, you can add as many beans as you want. You can improvise on this whole recipe according to what you like, but this is about the average, 2 cups. Add our beans. And we're going to add our jalapeno slice. And our cayenne. Our chili powder. Some sea salt. If you want some black pepper, that's great too. Speaking of toppings, Mark, can you hand me that? I've already prepared our fried strips of corn tortilla. We have that here to add to our toppings. The final ingredient is the Anaheim pepper. Now all you have to do is stir, heat it up, and you're ready to go. And we have some already prepared. Let's eat. We're ready to eat. We have our chili, our pico, our sliced jalapenos, our avocado, our lime, our cilantro, and our tortilla chips. Be present. Remember, who has their phone out has to pray.
Dear Lord, thank you for this food. Bless and nourish our bodies. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Remember, sit down with your family, take time to enjoy their company, and thank you. So, how's school going?